Good morning. I'm here in the country store, one of my favourite shops in Dungarvan. I'm delighted to be chatting to Conor Lannen, the proprietor of this very fine establishment. Conor, good morning.
Good morning, Regina. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. It's buzzing in here this morning.
It's great buzz as always in Dungarvan with the sun shining outside. It's a fantastic morning.
And it's buzzing and all the customers are wondering what the heck are they doing. Conor, tell me, what's the story behind the country store?
But basically, the country store was established in 1982 by Danny Barry. He was a local grower in Ballynacourty. So he saw the vision for the area. He set about being a farm shop, a traditional farm shop. And I suppose he had the vision that it's a built-up area, a lot of houses, good parking outside the door.
Yes.
And it's a kind of a mainstream out of Dungarvan where you have a lot of hinterlands who on Ryan, Shanpubble are more, Cappaquin there's more, so there's a lot of people passing here every day. So there was a good business here.
Yes.
So he was here for maybe 7 or 8 years. He sold it on to Michael Sheehan, who has the wine buff in Dungarvan now. And Michael probably bought onto another little level. He had maybe jams and eggs and a few little bits and pieces.
Yes.
But the shop was quite small.
Yeah.
So I took over. I bought the shop off the business off Michael in 2002.
Very good.
And a few years later then I doubled the size. I bought next door, which was Printmaster, where we are now. So that's where we went from there then. So I'm here probably 18 years now.
18 years, and you're going from strength to strength. Conor, how many suppliers do you support in this shop?
Basically probably around up to 50 or 60 suppliers
Wow.
weekly. Like basically when I doubled the size of the shop, I had a lot of empty shelves here and I didn't really know what to do. I was kind of deciding what way will I go. I hadn't the vision, I hadn't gone that far, but eventually I just kind of stumbled away, and it was all local producers. I got onto Flavin's, got onto Barron's and Cappaquin, got onto Eamon Lundergan in Knockanore, who told me the guy over the ditch is selling ice cream, Thomas Baldwin.
Fabulous.
And then so basically it grew legs unknown to myself. I was filling shelves and it was all local produce, a bit like Arking stores, we were going down that road a little bit, kind of on a smaller version.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have suppliers with all sorts of amazing stock. Like, talk me through more of them, because you mentioned you've 3 cheeses.
We've 3 cheeses. We've got Knocklara cheese.
Yeah.
We've got Conor Mulhall with the Little Milk Company, and then, as I said earlier, we've got Eamon Lundergan. So, I wouldn't have thought there was 3 cheeses in Waterford there a few years ago, but they're there and they're supplying me every week.
Yes.
And as I say, we have the ice cream then from Thomas, who's farming beside Eamon, And the community are good like that. There's a good local community, and they like to help each other out, and that's the way it works.
And you even have some similarity to Harrods. You're supplying some Lismore Food Company. I love these biscuits.
We were here before Harrods. We
were
supplying Lismore food.
Yeah. So they followed suit.
They followed suit.
Very good. So in terms of the support, it's extremely important what you're doing here, supporting local growers.
And in turn, Regina, they support me. If they come in with a delivery, they tend to buy a bit of shopping as well. So it's kind of a rollover
Win-win.
effect. It's a win-win for everyone. And as well as that, we have quality. We can order our more carrots and parsnips in the morning and have them on the shelf that afternoon. There's no air miles. There's no 2 days travelling or in a fridge someplace. We have it fresh that day, and that's the beauty about it all.
For sure. So in terms of what you supply, you do cakes as well.
We do a lot of cakes. We have Eunice does roulades and bread and scones. We also have Tori out in Bittersound, who does a coffee cake and lemon drizzle and little buns and all that kind of stuff. And then we have Monica, she's Rustica Bakery. She does nice little buns and jam tarts and all that kind of stuff. So we have a good offering there every day.
Especially during COVID, I enjoyed the dinners. Talk to me about the type of dinners that you have here, Conor.
Well, Eunice Power does a lot of different bits and pieces for me. She does coleslaw, potato salad, gratin potato, red cabbage, and then she has her cottage pies, her lasagnas, her beef stroganoff. And every week it changes, so we have a good offering there every week, and it's very handy when you're under pressure working and whatnot. And
yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I have to say, I love them, and I love those desserts.
And Eunice, in fairness, has been a great support to me, because originally when we had the small shop, she came in one day and said, "Look, would you put 10 brown bread on the counter and it'd be nice?" And it kind of rolled over a little bit from there. It was a good starting point for me. Then we got the scones, and then it just kind of took off from there, really.
And how did you fare out during COVID, Conor?
But COVID was tough enough, because literally we got to the 20th of March and 50% of our business was gone. Now we still had the shop end of it. We do a lot of restaurants, which is great. but that was all gone. But we were lucky to have the shop, and we were busy, and we have Quinlan's Butchers beside us. It was always a butcher shop here going back the years, so it was great that Quinlan's were there, and we married into them. We did a lot of joint deliveries, so we offered a lot of good service to the local people, especially old people.
Very good. And you were telling me a minute ago, what's some of the service you provide for the elderly?
Basically, we have a lot of elderly people coming here. They can park easy enough outside the door. We will bring the shopping out to the car for them. If they want it delivered, we deliver it for them. You know, so we like to help out people.
And I have to say, I don't classify myself as elderly. They always carry my shopping out when I get the vegetables here, so I appreciate it. It's the little extra touches. You always go the extra mile.
Definitely. In fairness, if people are coming, we like to help them out, especially potatoes are heavy and stuff. We like to help people out.
Yeah. And tell me, what's your philosophy here for the business, the shop, Conor?
Basically, we've grown from strength to strength in the last 10 years or so. So it's basically, we like to buy local. And we like to help the customer, and that's basically it. You know, if we can buy as much local, anything local we can put on the shelves, we will put on the shelves.
And you play quite a big role in the community, Conor. Tell me, you've a bit of a GAA interest,
Well,
is that right?
I would have back the years. I haven't a whole lot at the minute now, but I follow GAA, I follow all sports. I like horse racing, hurling, football. I love going to matches and stuff. It's a great way to enjoy life as well, and it's great to see it back in action with COVID and all that. But it's great.
So in terms of people shopping local, what's the impact for people coming in here instead of the big stores? What impact does that have for you and your suppliers, Conor?
Well, I think people are kind of more conscious nowadays, and they want to buy the local produce. They want to buy fresh, you know, the stuff that's not travelling, stuff that hasn't too much sprays on it, you know, and people are really coming around to the idea of that. Like we even noticed during the summer we have a lot of people around, holidaymakers. They'd hit me on the way home, because they want potatoes, they want fresh Ardmore carrots, they want they want the local stuff going back to wherever they're from, and it's very evident.
And the fabulous desserts as well.
And the fabulous desserts as well.
And Conor, tell me, how many people do you employ?
We have 10 people
Wow.
employed here, and then during the summer months we would have a few extra around the house because we'd be quite busy. We supply a lot of restaurants and hotels as well, so that end of it gets a bit busier during the summer months.
So, needless to say, when people shop local and they shop here in the country store, they're supporting the suppliers, your 60 suppliers and your 10 staff, as well as you and your business.
Definitely, and like one major point I made there, you don't have to come to me to buy Ardmore carrots, or you can buy them in Garvey's, you can buy them in you can buy Barron's Bread in Arkeen.
Yeah.
You can buy local wherever you go. I think that's very important. People need to kind of get that into their psyche, that's the way to go. If you want business to flourish in the area, if you want jobs in the area, if you have an option of buying something that's Irish or not Irish, you should buy the Irish, buy the local.
That's fantastic. What do you think the secret to your success is, Conor?
I suppose get up early in the morning. I suppose it's half the battle.
Yeah.
When I bought this place first, it was Jack Flanagan was the auctioneer, and he said to me, if you're willing to work, he says, you'll do well here.
Yeah.
And I think he probably told that to everyone at the time. But anyway, I took what he said on board, and I think if you get up early and drive on, you'll do well.
Well done, Conor. I think you're a fantastic example of the great success story here in Dungarvan. For me, I love coming in here because everyone's so friendly and they carry my stuff out to the car, and obviously the produce is to die for.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much for joining us at the Business Spotlight for the Dungarvan West Waterford Chamber. I wish you the very best, Conor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Regina. Thank you.